together.
He sent back the bust of Winston Churchill that was, I believe it was given to Franklin Roosevelt. And it sat on the White House desk for the last 60 or 70 years. Send it back.
Maybe she liked it, I don't know.
Didn't like it on his desk. I guess having to stare a real leader in the eyes every morning was kind of disconcerting.
Remember, when Churchill first came Prime Minister in 1940, he wasn't elected.
Yeah, well, you could have done worse. You could have kept that Chamberlain fuck around.
Chamberlain, particularly nice little conservative appeaser.
Quite good at it. Hitler's a nice chap. He's a bit misunderstood.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill was a man. That was the kind of person Americans can respect. I'm hunting bombers with my IL-2.
Yeah, Churchill also liked to drink. Apparently he quite easily put a bottle of whiskey or brandy a day. No problem whatsoever.
It's a symptom of being a man. We can't go through life sober because it's just too fucking depressing.
Imagine if Churchill lived in your town, man. I'd be well pissed off. You'd have to go out beside the city town limits in order to buy booze. What the fuck?
I'd drive him to the next town over. If there was, on the list of historical figures I would like to have a fucking drink with, he's pretty high up there. Fucking him and Teddy Roosevelt, definitely. Jonas Salk, though I don't know if Jonas Salk was much of a drinker.
An enemy has been slain.
I don't know, if you could sit down and have a beer with any historical figure, who would you drink with? I mean, just a fucking round of pints at a good pub. As you guys call bars pubs.
Enemy killing.
We also have bars. Yeah, we call them pubs, bars.
What's the difference between a bar and a pub?
Not a lot, really. You can have bars in pubs. Obviously, you can have lounges as well, but bars, pubs, bars. You find bars in pubs. So there's kind of interchangeability, really.
So is a pub more of like an inn? Or a tavern?
Well, an inn is like where you can actually stay the night. You can actually pay for a room for the night.
Yeah.
An enemy has been slain.
So what's the difference between a pub and a bar?
There isn't a pub contains a bar. And also can contain a lounge as well, called a lounge bar. But the lounge bar is a little bit more luxurious kind of thing.
I kind of give it okay. You're talking about like the difference between a club and a bar.
No, a nightclub is different, because the nightclub is primarily there for, it serves drinks of course, but it's there primarily to, dance. Don't really dance in pubs in this country, because you can. But...
Alright, well we're diverting from the original question. I mean,
any historical figure? I think I'll go for, who should I have with my historical figure? Any historical figure. I'll go for one of my heroes. One of my the Roman Emperor Antoninus Pius. Why not? One of my favourite Roman emperors.
They can probably keep pace with you at least.
Wow, yeah. But yeah, he basically be drinking wine rather than beer, but Antoninus Pius is one of my great Roman emperors. Roman Emperor from 138 AD to 161 AD, and during his 23-year reign as Emperor, he only signed 2 death warrants. In fact, the rule of Antoninus Pius could be described as the most boring period in Roman history ever. Nothing bad happened during the course of his reign at all, really. Nothing, there's no major wars, no, coups or, seems like eternal strife in the Roman Empire. Very boring period in Roman history. Of course, you have the later Roman, the later Roman period, beginning of the 3rd century AD, when the shit started hitting the fan. You have the Roman. If you compare the lives of, say, Constantine to the Roman Emperor Constantine to the life of Antonius Pius, Constantine was a man who killed several members of his own family. He had one of his own children boiled alive in a pot of oil. Had his wife, one of his first wife's head, he had his first wife's head hacked off. Had his half nephew strangled and his brother-in-law strangled. And meanwhile, Antonius Pius didn't have a single family member killed. Constantine was the Roman emperor who inflicted the Christianity on Western civilization. Theodosius I as well, a later 4th century Roman emperor who made Christianity, paganism within the confines of the Roman Empire, an offence punishable by death. But Antoninus Pius my dinner guest.
I'd say that's a good choice. Not that I'm one to judge. I mean, obviously your historical preference is your preference, but...
An enemy has been slain.
Bollocks.
Yeah, I can't say I'd mind sitting down with a Roman emperor and discussing things either. I mean, God, that had to be a very interesting period in human history.
Yeah, he was a Roman emperor. During the course of his reign, the Roman Senate wanted to actually rename the month of September to the month of Antonius, but he refused. The army said, "No, thanks, but no thanks. You can keep the name." So if the Roman Senate had its way, he'd rename the month of September to the month of Antonius, but he never accepted it.
That'd be interesting, considering he still used the Julian calendar.
Yeah, that's right, the Julius calendar. Yeah. July is named after Julius Caesar. Augustus is named after Augustus. Janus is the Roman god of new beginnings and doorways. So yeah, the Roman calendar, the calendar we used to is actually set up by Julius Caesar. His grandson Commodus renamed names the months after himself, and even renamed the city of Rome to the city of Commodus. That was his grandson.
Yeah, Commodus, he was the antagonist in Gladiator.
Yes. He was Commodus. He ruled the Roman Empire he became co-Roman Emperor in 77 AD with his father Marcus Aurelius, and he died in 80 AD. So he became Roman Emperor 18, and he was killed in 190 AD. And in 12 years, he was the decline and fall of the Roman Empire begins with Commodus. That's when the decline and fall begins.
I started reading that, by the way.
Yeah. Good, excellent book.
I've been in and out of it between novels, but yeah, I've been reading it.
It begins in the beginning of the 2nd century. He starts talking about the Roman military under Antonius and Marcus Aurelius. Then he talks about Commodus, the reign of Commodus, and that's when the actual decline falls. Favorite chapter is you should read, if you've actually got the book, you should read the final what's the name? A few paragraphs of chapter 15. That's most probably the most interesting chapter of the series of paragraphs within the entire text, I think. It talks
when
about.
I finish this book, we're going to have quite a bit to talk about.
Mm-hmm. The problem with the Roman Emperor, he talks about the 5 good emperors. He had Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius. Obviously, he had Lucius Verus, or Luke's co-emperor. And the reason why they were called the good emperors, because obviously they were good emperors in terms of like the administration they offered, in terms of they abode Roman law and tradition, and also they had a successful transfer of power from one emperor to the next without going into a civil war. You had various generals using the military in order to gain power. With Nerva adopting Trajan, Trajan adopted Hadrian. Hadrian was Trajan's second cousin on their father's side, so they were actually related. But they were people who were adopted, not by blood, but by their potential abilities to become emperor. But Commodus was the first son of the Roman emperor since Titus. And just because he inherited the Roman empire doesn't automatically make him a good emperor, even though his father was a good emperor. He himself was an absolute fucking useless human being. The Roman Emperor Commodus, who appeared in the Colosseum in Rome as a gladiator, I can't remember, hundreds of times, and got paid a shitload of money for doing it. The equivalent today is the President of the United States actually appearing in the WWF. That's how scandalous it was. Needless to decay. You name it, he killed it. Herodotus wrote about his exploits in the Colosseum in Rome. You name it, he killed it. Hippopotamuses, ostriches, lions, tigers, bears, you name it, he killed it. Very skilled with the bow. He was writing how he could decapitate an ostrich at a distance with a bow using these crescent-shaped arrows, and these fucking ostriches would run around with their heads cut off, pissing blood out the top of their necks. He was very skilled with the bow, but he was an absolutely useless fucking emperor. I recommend you should read the last 3 paragraphs of chapter 15 when he talks about miracles of the early Christian churches and how the Roman authorities just didn't acknowledge them at all. So no Roman historians were writing about it at all, even though he talks about the miracle of the preternatural darkness that occurred beyond the crucifixion. That's mentioned in the Gospels of Mark, Matthew, Luke, but not John. John fails to mention this. When darkness came, the daytime came dark, came nighttime for 3 hours and came night again. Yet this miracle would have been witnessed across the whole of the Roman Empire for 3 hours, and yet Seneca and Pliny the Elder failed to notice this and failed to write about it. There's not a single Roman historical source that mentions this event, yet millions of people across the Roman Empire must have witnessed this firsthand, yet there's not a single Roman source which acknowledges this, and that's what Edward Gibbon talks about how this miracle went unnoticed by the Roman Empire.
Well, they were probably busy.
Too drunk or something, but that Pliny, the Elder, wrote about earthquakes, comets, eclipses of the sun. Yeah, he fails to mention this, even though it was alive at the time when this event should have happened.
You haven't asked me which historical figure I would sit down and have a beer with yet.
Which historical figure would you sit down and have a beer with?
I really think I'd like to have a drink with Mozart.
Mozart, yeah.
I mean, he was very controversial for his time. And I mean, we look on classical music now, and we're like, well, it's classical music. But then, at that point, it was kind of the rock and roll of its time.
Yeah, he's certainly an extremely talented musician. I think when did he start playing violin? He started playing violin from the Emperor of the Austro-Hungarian Empire at the age of 9 or some shit.
Hey, yeah, he was very young.
How old was he died? He wasn't even 40 when he died, was it?
No, he was in his late 20s. I believe he was 28 or 29.
An enemy has been slain.
The man was a genius. I mean, his musical forms are still followed today.
Yeah, it's certainly. I was watching Zombieland yesterday when it was on TV. There's this new Mozart track when they're trashing the shop. That's what the track they use. It's a Mozart track.
I think it'd have to be either him or... You know, I almost hesitate to say it, but I'd like to sit down and pick Hitler's brain.
Well, that particularly wouldn't take long.
But you have to wonder why. What pushed him to that?
He was a fucking madman who was given control over the state. Remember, he was democratically elected to German chancellorship.
Yeah.
I wonder how Germany would have turned out if they actually voted communist instead of national socialist. How would the Second World War would have happened?
I'd almost like to hear in his own words what he hoped to accomplish.
Oh, he wrote everything down in Mein Kampf.
I'm not buying that book because I'll end up on a list if I buy that book.
Why should it end up on the list? If you read the Bible, it doesn't necessarily make you a Christian or Jew. It just means you're reading the Bible.
Oh, welcome
Any
to
other text.
living in fear of the modern police state.
Shut down.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's... as much as I fuck with the man for being a fucking dictator and whatnot, there is no comparison.
No comparison. The idea is so that President Obama is a brutal dictator. It's simply not true. It's not true at all.
Alright, so I found a guy sleeping on the side of the road here. Let him be or shoot him?
Never.
Has been slain.
Obama could potentially become Hitler.
No.
But then again, so could damn near anybody, given the right circumstances.
As far as people opening the doors when they come through and fucking up our country.
And that absolutely
There has
can.
been a massive pushback against civil rights in this country, and
It began with
trade for public safety.
It began with the Patriot Act. That's what it began with.
Well, you want to speak of the Patriot Act, we can talk about how he expanded the Patriot Act and renewed it, and then passed the National Defense Authorization Act, which is way worse than the Patriot Act. I mean, read the text of the bill, it's fucking terrifying.
Well,
It speaks of building a legal framework in which we could indefinitely detain American citizens. Why? Well, because they may be a threat. I mean, he has been talking about some scary shit for a long fucking time. But because he wears a blue tie and he's a Democrat and therefore liberal, nobody really worries about it as much as they did when Bush was talking about it.
An ally has
apparently those kind of acts is the Emergency Powers Act, which were passed after the Reichstag fire. They're not the same. Because with the Emergency Powers Act, Jewish citizens in Germany were denied citizenship.
an enemy has
Well, they're Jews.
Yes, they are Jews, but they're still German citizens regardless of their religion. But yeah, they have the citizenship of vote.
Well, we have a president who feels that it's perfectly acceptable to indefinitely detain American citizens without due process or trial under suspicion of being enemies of the state.
Once the
He said
legislator
it. He's on
that writes,
record as saying,
in terms of there's no threat from the Al Qaeda terrorist network to the United States. They just said they don't have the manpower and they don't have the resources
no,
in
they
order to
don't
conquer it.
consider the Al Qaeda a threat anymore. They consider me a threat.
Not
They
a threat, are they?
consider libertarians a threat. They consider people who are quote unquote anti-government a threat. Returning veterans, people who are registered as Republicans. This was actually published in a government memo that was not supposed to become public, but did.
Well, they've been talking a lot lately about
shut down.
they've been over there for so many time and now being a mindset of terrorists and blah blah blah.
because a lot of them speak out against the war.
Rightly so, because it's been going on for far too fucking long.
Well, it's no longer George W. Bush's war, and that's why they're threatened by that speaking out against it.
Rampage.
I mean, make no mistake, you know, this isn't pre-World War II Germany yet, but the news is tightening.
In the last two presidential election cycles, what have the Republicans come up with as alternatives? A fucking old Navy pilot with a shit 4-flight record, a fucking Mormon fucking, you know, venture capitalist asset stripper.
Vote third party. It's why do we only have to have two parties?
You have been slain.
And so we can only be wrong half of the time?
Yeah, well, it's same in this country. Yeah, we have two-party states really. But my favourite, who was his fucking Mitt Romney's fucking running mate? Was it fucking Paul Ryan, whatever his name was?
Yeah.
The Eddie Munster look-alike.
An ally has been slain.
Monster match.
Yeah, fucking that douche nozzle. His favourite book is Aaron Rand's fucking Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, nothing we can learn from that.
Now, start off, there's nothing to learn from it really. It's a work of fucking fiction for one thing. And Aaron Rand, by the way, wasn't an economist. She wasn't a philosopher. A bullshit philosophy objectivism isn't listed in the Oxford University's companion guide to philosophy, or she listed as a philosopher herself. She's overrated, and is only known about really in the United States. Also in my country, you won't be studying her at university level English literature degree courses, where you won't be studying her crappy books at all.
Dominating.
So you actually give out copies of Atlas Shrugged to former staff members saying, read this really great book. Yeah, you know, the books aren't studied, it's works of literature in my country at all, or anywhere else. Also, she was an atheist, which I agree with, and also she was against the Vietnam War, which I also would have agreed with. I don't disagree with Aaron Rand and everything, but I'm pretty sure, and also she's for the woman's right to choose when it comes to abortion. Of course, I bet Paul Ryan, when he found out these things, he shat bricks and disassociated from her as soon as possible. He's a typical politician, opportunist fucking whore.
An enemy.
Again, it just goes to show you what kind of poor person Paul Ryan is. Like, he doesn't do any fucking background reading at all about the person he fucking idolised.
Well, he's a politician.
There's also a fucking douche.
Look at the kind of people that Obama surrounded himself with and idolized. Somehow the media helped him distance himself from eventually.
Everyone thinks fucking Aaron Rand's a fucking good author. He's a fucking dipshit, in my opinion.
Anybody that thinks Reverend Jeremiah Wright's a good guy to follow around is probably a dipshit too.
Again, I don't think, you know me, I don't give a fuck what the Christian clergy has to say. We're a bunch of dickheads.
Black nationalism is a great philosophy. Hey, let's kill white.
An ally has been
Goddamn America, fucking white people. Never mind they're part of your constituency, you're supposed to be, representing and supporting these people. Ah, fucking white devil.
Fucking reads Aaron Rand novels anyway, apart from fucking hipster douchebags.
An enemy has been slain.
Obama.
Aaron Rand. Well, actually, it's sure there's about 1,000 pages of this bullshit. What's the main character? Named John Gaunt, whatever his name is.
John Gaunt.
He's one of the longest monologues in English ever written down. Him being, I can do what I want because I'm an individual speech, and that includes killing children.
Has been slain.
Oh, what's so great about fucking children?
You put them in the microwave every 20 minutes; they taste yummy.
An enemy has been slain.
Ouch. Starfire, do you have League of Legends or ever play? Or Skyfire, I should say.
An ally has been
Skyfire, ladyboy in disguise.
I don't think so, man. It's too hairy.
Yeah, man. That's all part of the cunning disguise. Of course, in the end, Aaron Rand sucked on the government tit and it tasted good. Om nom 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 nom.
He's celebrating somebody else's subjugation. Awesome.
Also, she was completely stupid to believe the cause and effect relationship between smoking and lung cancer. She didn't believe it. I don't think smoking causes cigarette cancer. Look at all the peer-reviewed fucking scientific research on the subject. That's just bullshit. And she ended up what, dying off? Oh, lung cancer. Also, she was an amphetamine popping pill freak as well. Oh, I need to keep the weight off now. I'll start taking amphetamines. Speed freak.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Your team has destroyed. Godlike.
Nobody likes people who are smug. So don't be smug.
Hey Skyfire, question to you. You could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
You can't say Batman.
Batman, sorry to tell you this, Skyfire, Batman ain't real.
Your team has destroyed turret.
Skyfire.
Skyfire, you're still alive? Have you dropped out of a heart attack at 25?
Might get a horde.
Enemy ram.
The benefit everything to do with the horse.
Enemy double kill.
I did try to encourage him to do it the other night. He might have finally done it.
Don't know, Skyfire. Away from keyboard or some shit.
Kicking ass and fucking this game.
But then Mithril, same question to you. Which historical figure would you have dinner with?
Whoever invented pop, bro.
I can't remember the guy's name now, but that actor who like died with a lot of meat in his liver. He was an old cowboy actor. John Wayne.
John Wayne? Died with meat in the liver? What the fuck?
He had like
We
so
don't-
many pounds of unprocessed meat.
An enemy has been slain.
Huh? What the fuck? He died of cancer, didn't he? Was it lung cancer he died of? John Wayne.
Heart attack, I don't remember.
No, it was cancer he died of, John Wayne. And also he, no, it's cancer.
say
He
all
also
I
died
remember-
at... Go on.
Go on. I was gonna say all I remember is the. Wish I knew the exact number. It was like so many pounds of unprocessed meat or whatever still.
Your team has destroyed
so
a
much.
turret.
His real name was Marion. Marion. That's a girl's name. Marion. Marion Morrison, that's what his real name was. And wear a wig as well. With a nice little toupee.
Your team has
He's a whip-wearing, chicken-hawk, toupee wearer.
destroyed.
He was too busy making warlocks shooting blacks on movie sets in the United States in order to actually stand up for what he believed in and pick up a rifle and fire one for real. Yeah, James Stewart served. He was a conservative. Charles Heston, he served. He was a conservative. John Wayne, a conservative, didn't serve.
Victory!
Hey, Mike, did you sign up to die for your government?
No.
No, you didn't, so shut up.
Well.